Good morning. Welcome to Simply Remarkable. Happy last Friday in February. Can you believe it? But do you know what else is possible in your life? Let's find out. Let's go. Greetings to our live audience joining us here today from LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We're so happy to be here with you today, and we want you to engage with us. Our chat line is open, and we're excited. Now, we look forward to this weekly conversation because we want to bring you people and guests and speakers that you get to meet personally and get to know them just like we do. That's why we're here. Now, I'm so excited for you to meet today our featured guest speaker, Devin Henderson. Now, he's a sought-after keynote speaker, award-winning magician, and now best-selling author of What Else is Possible. He's a multi-talented powerhouse who helps organizations make mental barriers disappear so that leaders and teams can reach next level successes. I'm excited. Welcome, Devin. I am so glad you're here. You travel a lot. Where are you coming to us from today?
Yeah, coming to you from my home studio. Yeah, I use that word studio loosely. But yeah, I'm here in Shawnee, Kansas, just outside of Kansas City.
Wow, I love it. Love the area. Love the area.
It's a good
and
area.
It's going to be 75 degrees there, he said today. Snow tomorrow. Hey.
And then more snow this weekend. Always keeps us on our toes. We got to love
That's
it.
That's it. Now, Devin, this time goes by so fast, so we're just going to jump in. Now,
all right.
Devin, you're a magician and a powerful and engaging keynote speaker. How did those two worlds collide into career you have today?
It's a great question. Yeah, I mean, magic, motivation, where's that? I mean, it's a great alliteration, but yeah, how did it come together for me? Well, I got my start as a magician, so I'm an entertainer first. When I started at 11 years old, I never thought, I'll be a motivational speaker. I just thought I want to be a magician. And so then as I, honed that craft and that hobby and through college, and then I was like, this is going to be a living, I started performing professionally. And about 5 years into it, traveling all over the country, doing corporate events, just doing magic and mentalism, someone who was actually a former employee at a speaker bureau, because speaker bureaus are like the best, right? Like everybody should hire speakers through bureaus, because bureaus like remarkable speakers, Sue, rock. Like they think of all the details, everything that needs to happen from the beginning to the end. And it doesn't cost you any more to use your bureau, but you get all the benefits. So if you're hiring speakers, reach out to Sue at Remarkable. She's incredible, and you'll love working with this lady. But one of those people approached me and said, hey, I used to work with the bureau. You should consider speaking. And I was like, that sounds like boring. Thanks. See ya. But they hooked me up with, they connected me with the person who owns the bureau, or used to own the bureau. And we had lunch, and he kind of opened my eyes to, hey, you can still be a magician, but if you tap into what's your inner story, what's that thing about you that can drive people in business and in life to greater possibilities, I mean, you're going to have more fulfillment in what you do. It's going to open more doors for you. You can make more money. I mean, all the things. And I was like, it just that everything opened up before me. And that was, 16 years ago. And I started searching out my message. And at first the message felt kind of forced. It was like, hey, be magical. But it's like, what am I even saying? But then as life happened, and as I got coaching and figured out my message, I became speaker first, magician second. And now I'm passionate just about having people ask the question in their life, what else is possible? And the magic is just alongside to really engage people, to help them remember the message, to get them off their phones during conferences, and anchor that message about greater possibilities, resilience, rising through failure. So that's how someone encouraged me. They said, you're you're skilled as a magician. Now bring the story to it, and the sky's the limit.
We need those encouragers also. And thank you for that shout out. That was wonderful.
Oh,
hey,
absolutely.
We've been in business now. This is our 17th year.
Congratulations.
And I've been in the
that.
industry for more years than you've been born. So, hey, we've got plenty of experience here. Now, on your book, let's talk about that. This new book. I love it. I love it. What was the moment you knew this message needed to be a book?
Probably when Streamline Books reached out to me and said, you need a book. I mean, I think in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm never going to have time to write a book. 7 kids, 8 kids, 9 kids. We kept having kids. And it was like, there's no time. I'm speaking, I'm traveling. When am I going to write a book? Streamline Books reached out. Shout out to Streamline, shareyourstory.com. They're incredible. They said, hey, we can bring your story and your book to life, and we can make it easy and fun for you. And that's exactly what they did. So as soon as they said that, I was like, yes, this message has been, the stories, the magic have all been crafted for stage, but let's make the book version of it so people can take it with them and share it with other people, and we can extend our reach and impact lives beyond just when I'm on the stage. So that was about 2.5 years ago, I think, that they initially reached out. And so much has happened between now and then, but it's finally here. What else is possible? It's very exciting. It's surreal. I'm in a men's group right now that we do a book every quarter. And I was honored when they said, we want to do your book. Because Will Severns, one of the co-founders of Streamline Books, is the leader of the group. And he's like, hey, I get to pick the book. So let's do a book we worked on together. So next month, we're going to discuss my book. That's a first for me, to get together with a group of men discussing a book, and it's mine. So it's such an honor. And I'm just very excited that we can share this message with more people now.
And they will also help you write the next one.
Yes.
They will give you those ideas and feedback. So that keeps it going, Yeah. Because I totally recommend that speakers have a book. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And to create the audio version.
Than just the keynote or getting to meet them. They want more.
Yes.
And so I'm so pleased that you did that. And it's a wonderful book. So
thank you.
Everybody needs to get a copy and read it and review it. Reviews are so important to authors.
There's also the audio version on Amazon, so check it out if you're just want to drive and listen. It's a good way to take it in.
Exactly. We've featured it all over, so we're making it. We're making it. Now, in this and in what you speak in your audiences, you talk about mental barriers.
Yes.
Now, what are the most common ones you see holding back leaders and teams right now? Did you see a lot?
Yep. Yeah, I call them illusions, because being an illusionist, it's just a really good metaphor. And I do a rope escape in my keynote that illustrates how a lot of times these mental barriers that we're facing are just illusions. Maybe the majority of the time when we feel like we're struggling, we feel mentally trapped, but there's a way out of it, right? And so I share a couple secrets about how to get out of that. Magic wise, it's fun for them to learn some things, but then also mentally we tackle those. And you said, what are the most common ones? Well, there's the illusion of can't is the biggest one that we focus on, that we say, I can't this, I can't that. And so we feel trapped. But then I call it pause, pivot, pull, because that's the motion to get out of the rope escape. If we pause and catch ourselves saying, I can't, and then pivot, which is flipping the lie into truth, such as I can't yet, but one day I will, then we can pull free and keep moving toward greatness. So very simple illustration, very powerful. So the whole audience is doing the pause, pivot, pull, pause, pivot, pull. How do we move past these mental barriers? Because once you flip the lie into truth, the truth will set you free. And then I would say the other most common one, just from interviewing CEOs and people from leading organizations, is there's this thing that I've come to call the illusion of comparison. That we look at other people and we say, they're crushing it, they're doing so much better than me, that person is better than me. And that's the lie, right? So that's the other mental barrier, is that the illusion of comparison. But again, pause, pivot, pull. If we pause and say that person's better than me and catch ourselves believing that lie, then we pivot. So we flip that lie into truth, which is that person is better than me at being who they are. And then you can pull free and recognize that other people's greatness does not threaten yours. So let other people just inspire you to continue to ask what else is possible and become greater and greater and greater. And those, I would say, those are the top 2 mental barriers that I share with audiences that help them move past those barriers and break free to the next level of greatness.
And that is so key. That's so key, because those are the 2 things that you're right. People, and it's not really new.
You're right.
It's just we've never handled it well yet. So now we've got a resource to handle it well, which is good.
Yes.
Thank you for that, because that'll be a takeaway right now.
And
my mind is working right now.
Yeah. Can I share with them that verse that I shared with you right before the call?
Sure.
I had my daughter do this for me. This is like, okay, I'm going to read this. Yeah, this is from Matthew 5:44. It says, my daughter painted this for me. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. I had her put in here and competitors, because I don't consider competitors, as in other speakers, my enemies. But if I'm going to pray for and love my enemies, I want to also do that with my competitors. Because if I wake up every day and feel like, okay, there's all this, competition, that's not a place of peace and surrender for me to live in. But if I say, okay, how can I help other speakers and champion them? Then I'm at a place where I'm not trying to control my business and the industry, but I can live freely, and that stuff just inevitably is going to come back to you anyway. So now I have to wake up every day and have and refresh this mindset, because I can get easily caught up in the illusion of the competition thing. And so think about that. Think about who are your competitors, who are the people that you feel like you're, even if it's your spouse, people that you're just having daily friction with. How can you love those people? How can you serve them? And I'm speaking myself just as much as I am anybody on the call, that that's something we have to get up and resolve every day to do.
Exactly. It's just like letting go again. All right.
Yes. Every day.
Because it'll come back if we
Yes.
don't. I found that so often, and people, they say, well, I'm just too busy to do any of that. And I'm like,
yes.
Look,
Yes.
I want to sleep at night. Okay.
Yes.
Type thing. So thank you for sharing that. That is really, really key. Now,
Yes.
you've worked with Fortune 500 companies,
Uh-huh.
Hallmark, Nationwide, Toyota, McDonald's, you name it. Is the struggle the same across industries, or does it show up differently in some?
It's very consistent with what people bring to you. Whether I'm doing a thing for the American Pharmacy Association of America, which I am next month, or if I'm speaking to Hallmark, or if I'm speaking at a teacher back to school convocation. It's very much about, there's a lot of regulations. There's a lot of change happening. There's like always these things, these forces pushing back. Our people have a hard time seeing the next level of greatness, because they're so caught up in the muck of what's going on today that they can't see beyond. And so even though industries are very broad in what they offer and the way that they work and operate, those common challenges are, such a common thread running through all of them, which is why I'm just thankful that my message happens to transcend industries, and it's really such a broad message that it resonates with any industry. There's not an industry I can think of that it doesn't resonate with, that it's about we want to be able to rise through failure. And whether we've just had the hardest season of our life and work, or if we've just had our biggest win, asking that question, what else is possible, is going to move you forward. And it's going to make you more resilient. It's going to help you rise through failure, come back stronger after disappointments and setbacks, and always continue to think, okay, what's that next level of greatness? What's that next thing we can hit? Without it feeling like a grind and oppressive, right? We want it to be fun and exciting and energizing. And how do we, make that work smarter, not harder type thing? Because I don't want people to feel like, oh, something greater is always possible. There's always more grind. No, there's a way to live more peacefully, even in that mindset. And so it's a crazy balance that's a possibility to achieve.
Right. It is.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that. Now,
Yeah.
The question, what else is possible, sounds very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so hard for most organizations and leaders and teams to actually live it?
Well, I initially think of for me? Why is it hard for me to think that? But I think what's true for the individual is true for the broader organization, because what's true for me is the same reason it's hard for my family to ask it. CEO might have a hard time asking it. Same for the organization. I think that the reason it hits us all is because, again, we go back to we're so busy, we're burnt out, we're stressed. People are just facing all these. Just the other day, my 16-year-old said, I'd love to just never have to do anything ever again. And I was like, yes. Like, that's how my clients feel. They're like, can we just like rest for a little bit and stop striving and trying to achieve? And, and so I think we just get burnt out. We get stressed out. And so it's kind of like, we don't even have the capacity to be thinking about next level greatness. We're just trying to deal with what's happening right here today. And so we have to find different resources. We have to team up with each other. We have to ask for help, and we have to figure out what are the old things that aren't working anymore, that are sucking up our time and our energy, that aren't moving us forward. And so a lot of time it's about burning that dead wood so that we can get clarity around our current situation, so that we can even have the capacity to move forward.
Exactly. And that's a great word, clarity.
Clarity.
Yes. It's a great word, because we get so caught up with everything. So you've got to step back and have that. Thanks, Lindy, for joining us today. And here's her comment. It says, the world is better when we lift each other, even our competitors. Thank you, Lindy, for sharing that, because that's the message.
Yeah.
It is.
Like
That's the
JFK
message.
said, a rising tide lifts all boats. Same idea.
Exactly. And we have to keep doing it. We have to keep doing it. Yeah. Now, we promised today a magical Friday, a magical conversation. Tell me, how do you use illusions to make a business point land differently than a traditional keynote would? And do you have an example for us today?
I do, and I'd love to show you. Are you ready for it?
Okay. I'm ready.
Let's go. Let's do it. I'm ready for it. Whenever I do magic in a presentation, it's never just magic for no reason and then let's get back to the message. It's always a metaphor for business, for life, for experiencing greater breakthroughs in everything that you do. And so here's an example of that right now. When I do my keynotes, I actually use a camera on stage that projects an image like you're seeing onto the big screen, so you can actually do close-up for 5,000 people. It's pretty awesome. So this is one of the illustrations I give. Now, let me set up the trick a little bit before I do it, and you'll know why I'm doing it. When I was 18 years old, David Blaine, I don't know if you remember David Blaine or not, Sue, he was a street magician who would walk around and just freak people out. Yeah, his approach was like very deadpan. He's like, can I show you something? And people are like, go away, freak. And then he would like blow their minds, and he would win people over. So I was a huge David Blaine fan. And I want to show you one of the tricks that inspired me at the time. And I'm hoping that just by watching this trick, you'll be inspired to greater possibilities in your life. And then you'll find out there's another reason I'm also sharing the trick. So first of all, let's just go ahead and do the trick so you can so we can set this up. So here it is. We have 4 coins here. I'm going to lay them out just in a grid, kind of 4 and 4. And then I've got 4 playing cards, and it really is just 4 playing cards. Doesn't matter what they are. Any 4 playing cards works. Okay, so we're just going to cover each coin with a playing card. 4 coins, 4 cards. Any questions yet, Sue?
No, I think I got it.
Right?
Okay,
so here we go. So watch what happens with the first coin. If we just give the cards a little shake like this, you can see the first coin travels. We'll do it again. Here we go. Just a little shake of the cards. Another coin has traveled. Let's see if we can get the last one to go. Just another little shake like this. And yes. And as you can see, it really is only 4 coins, 4 cards.
Wow.
Now, I told you there's another reason I wanted to show you the trick. It's to make this point. That trick cannot be done without the playing cards. I mean, isn't that obvious? Like we need the cards as cover so that the coins can magically jump from one spot to another. The trick cannot be done without the playing cards. Unless we ask what question, Sue?
What else is possible?
What else is possible? What if it can be done? And you know what? That's what my friend and magician John Bourne said. He said, what if there is a way to make the coins travel without the use of the cards? And at first other magicians thought, you're absolutely insane. But John is creative, he's innovative, and not only did he find a way to do this trick without the playing cards, he was able to elevate the trick. Because without the limitation of the cards, it opened new possibilities up, greater illusions, greater impact. And back to that whole thing about more grind, more work. That's not what about greater possibilities is about. Sometimes it's about letting go of the things that are not working. Because see, once we let go of the things that are keeping us grounded, we'll find out that the sky's the limit. I mean, the playing cards made the trick possible, but removing the cards made the trick legendary. And so maybe people on the call, maybe you have that thing where you know that you're holding cards in your hand right now that are just taking up real estate in your life, in your hands, that you need to let go. We need to drop the cards and move on. And maybe at one time the cards were serving you. Maybe it was a relationship, a connection, a system, an idea that served you, but maybe it's time to let go. And so then the question is, what does it look like when the sky is the limit? Well, thanks to John Bourne, I get to show you. Would you like to see what it looks like when the sky is the limit, Sue?
I would.
Let's do this. Let's go. All right. No cards this time. Here we go. 4 coins. We're going to put them all in a line just like that. Now watch closely. Here we go. The first coin travels. What you're seeing on your screen is exactly what's happening right here in my home studio. 3 and 1. Try it again. 1 coin. Just a little, just like that. Here we go again. Ready? Don't blink, Sue. This one's hard because the hands are crossed. And there it is. The last one travels just like this. Okay.
Yay!
Now remember how we had the coins set up in a grid earlier? Like this?
Yeah.
And I said, can you do it without the cards? Well, just a little wave. And you can, believe it or not. It just takes a little wave of the hands just like that. And remember, we are working with only 4 coins.
Woo.
So that leaves us with the question is, what cards do you need to get rid of? What can you let go of that's going to help you get to the next level of greatness?
And that's the challenge for today. Okay. Yes. Today, because that's the magic of that we do have control over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that. I mean,
absolutely.
Talk about event planners. Can you see that in your audience? Okay. Yeah. I can see those cards. I can see all kinds of things going with that. So you've got a great platform that really impresses because they learn something right there.
Yeah. I love what I do, Sue. You know, I think this is at least our 3rd call, maybe our 4th. A lot has happened. You know, last time we talked about how I lost my daughter. We lost our 8-week-old daughter to SIDS, and that was right at the end of when I was writing the book. So the book got put on hold for about a year, and that's why it took a while to finish. Since then, our big news is we had our first boy. so we had 8 girls. Number 8 went to heaven, and then we had our 9th, our first boy. So when you say what else is possible, I mean, even in the midst of grief, the hardest pain of your life, something beautiful can literally still be born. And that's what I want your listeners to know, is that even when it feels like all hope is lost, when you feel like there's no way you're ever going to gain peace again, you're never going to thrive again, just asking what else is possible can move you forward, because embedded in the possibility mindset, there's deeper elements of gratitude and faith. And that's what gets us up out of the muck, out of the valley, keeps us moving forward. And so that's the hope I want to offer today, is keep asking what else is possible. It's always gonna help you out.
I'm posting that right now. All right. That'll work. That'll work. You know, in a situations
good.
because we all have our own situations that this can work. Now, Devin, we have covered a lot today. I'm just, whoa. But I just want to ask you, is there one more thing that we might have missed that you really wanted to share today?
That's a great question. You know, I don't know if I shared this on our last call, but this whole possibility mindset and asking what else is possible, it always worked for me. And I would say the biggest thing that I had in my life that was like, oh, I mean, I lost my father in 2018. That was hard. I didn't make it through my America's Got Talent audition back in 2014 for my career. That was like the biggest kind of bombshell / fail ever. And so that question, what else is possible? I would use those stories to encourage people. Hey, no matter what happens, you can keep moving on. It wasn't until we lost a baby that it was like, this question, this philosophy, this mindset is truly being put to the test. And once it helped me get through that, I realized there's hope for everyone. And I started seeing people differently. I started seeing pain in people's faces. I saw that everyone's hiding something. And if they're not going through something now, they will. And it made me realize this message is so important to get out to people. And that's why I do share the story in a very artful, concise way with magic built in about how Ivy's passing has sparked a new beginning for many people. And she's leaving an eternal legacy just by her memory and the way that we talk about her. And while I never get specific about my faith and my spiritual beliefs in my keynote, I do offer the mindset that helps, that shows people what gave me strength when I had none. And it really comes down to my faith and that element that we're really all designed for something bigger than ourselves. And so are you looking for the meaning in your life? You know, I believe the fingerprints of something greater are all over this world. And it's not until we start dusting for those prints that becomes apparent in our lives. And it might look different for all of us. For us, it came down to the number 8. If you read the epilogue of my book, you'll understand why the number 8 was so significant. But I believe that if you seek and you'll find. There's something out there. There's a reason you're going through what you're going. If you don't find out why in this life you're dealing with all your hardships, you might find out why in the next life. And people deal with all kinds of loss. They don't just lose babies. They lose other loved ones. They might lose the ability to have children. They might lose a limb. They might lose their home or a hope or a dream or aspiration. I mean, loss is so broad. And all of us are going to experience a significant loss sometimes in our lives. But if you just keep the faith, remember to practice gratitude, and especially never stop asking what else is possible, there's always, always hope.
I believe that too. I recently have to, we have tests of this, okay?
Yes.
Who would ever thought that I'd fall? Okay. But that was a test. And I want to pass it well.
Yeah.
So
Everybody
that I can
remember pray for Sue. Right. I'll pray for each other. Just pray for Sue, and
but
we love this woman.
I just want to thank you for coming today. Thank you for opening our eyes of what else is possible.
Mm-hmm.
And wish you much success of 2026. And we had more questions because people had sent me questions, so we'll have to have you back. All right.
Do it. I'd love to. It'd be an honor.
Hey, we can't get to everything, but we did that. So thank you so much. And it's going to be a fun ride, Now, out there, if you're an event planner or leader who wants your next event to leave people genuinely transformed, not just entertained, Devin is your speaker. Just visit us today to book him. Call me, text me, because he books quickly. So you want to make sure, and with a new book coming that's out, it's going to be even more. So make sure you do that, because let's plan a remarkable event together, because it can be. Now, thanks to everyone for joining us here today. I love what I get to do every day. Like you said, you love what you get to do, no matter what happens. We love it. And so that's why we just keep going. And so I'm here for anyone. Just give me a call or text. Love to speak with you. Now, I want you to join us back here next Friday, because we just keep going. Because we're going to have speaker Bart Berkey. He's a speaker who moves you from inspiration to transformation. He wants to show you and encourage you to do what others don't, and why you should. And he has been powerful because he shares not only data, he shares the real life stories of how this works. So join us for that conversation. You won't want to miss it next Friday. And I also want to remind you, I will never give this up, to continue to pray and support those who have survived, are still surviving hurricanes, who have been affected by all the winter storms and power outages, floods, fires, all this across our country. It's going to be a long-term recovery for these people. It's not a one-done deal, and we don't need to forget them. So please, please, especially here in North Carolina, we're still in the midst of Western North Carolina. They still need our support. So we can pay back because these people need our help. Now, I want you to have a remarkable weekend, and we will see you here next month. Can you believe I can say that? Next Friday, it's March, and it's only 21 days till spring. So, the snow's still coming, but we've got spring coming, and we just thank you so much for joining us. And again, Devin, thanks so much. Have a remarkable weekend with that family, and they'll be out in the snow. That'll be fun.
It will be fun.
Have a great one.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.